Well, hi everybody, and welcome back to Jim's Radio Shop. And we're going to be taking a look at this guy. This is a Fisher. In its day, a very high-end amp. These were highly respected amplifiers. And I suppose they still are, especially if they're working really well. So I don't know anything about this. As usual, I've got it. I don't know what the complaint is. I don't even know if there is any complaint. So we're going to have to check this guy out thoroughly and see what's up with it. Now, the first thing I discovered is it's not screwed into the cabinet. It's ready to fall out. So let's make it fall out. Since it wants so urgently to come out. Okay, a couple little screws left in here. I don't think they're in the right place. In fact, I don't think these are even the right screws here. This is kind of a weird arrangement they've got here. Take a look. You know, these kinds of grips almost always go through a hole in a wooden cabinet. They don't work on a slot very well. Like they should be up in here maybe, or in these spots. So why exactly they're here, I don't know. But I think we can call that the first thing we found that's wrong on here. And not too surprising, it's practically falling out of the cabinet. Now there's definitely screw holes for them. Oh, check out. Wham! Wow, that should have fixed it. The Fisher model X100A, serial number so-and-so. 115 watts. Made in New York. And it's got all of its tubes. Pretty clean. Got your various inputs. Why some here, why some here? Auxiliary tuner, I think is what that is. Auxiliary and tuner, left and right and left. Then further down we've got tape head, phono low, phono high, that'd be impedance. That's it, left and right. And what do we got out here? We've got recorder, left and right, monitor left and right, in and out down here. Then over here we've got the speaker connection, right and left. Common 8 ohms and 16 ohms. Okay, we can deal with that. This is my speaker connection here. Ooh, wire's not too good. Let's just fix that a little bit. There's a good chance there's absolutely nothing wrong with this amplifier, except maybe, you know, noisy controls or something like that, which is all too common. I suppose I should be using a little heavier wire here then. Oh, I think that might be stripped a little bit. Let's see. They can't back the screw up very, it doesn't come up very high. Trouble getting this wire under it. It's stripped. So that's not too good, because that's the common connection there. This lock washer, let's bring it right up there. This might be a little out of focus. Hey. Let's see if we can get close enough to this guy. That's pretty good. It's not too often I can get such a convenient shot, so that's the stripped guy. Going nowhere. This guy here, look at this washer, can pretty much make it into contact with that. That's pretty crummy. Why is a lock washer there too? You wouldn't normally have a lock washer under a I wouldn't think you'd want a lock washer under there. The lock washers bite, and they'll bite the wire that's under there. At least this one's not stripped. Extra wire here. I think probably lots of problems happen from short circuits right in here. I'll betcha. Okay, now I need a piece of wire to hook up my other speaker. I can probably put the common wire under the other common screw, and it might even be able to just connect it to the chassis. Can't tell for sure though from up above here. Well, you know what? I may not be able to do it quite like this because I can't get in there with a screwdriver. My camera is crowding the hey, my camera! I didn't mention my. If you watched my other video, you heard me lament about my playbook dying, and you know, I never give up on things. Filled around with it some more about an hour ago, and presto! I got it to shut off, and then when I started it up fine. So my still using my son's playbook to make this video, but once it's charged up, I think it's all back in business. There's a locking washer under here too. Different kind though. I think there's an inward and outward locking washers, and this one here, that's just not right. And you don't need to lock. You don't even need a lock washer here. This is an outer lock washer, and it's just not the right type at all. So let's get it out of there before it causes a short circuit and I end up with more trouble. More trouble. Everything is challenging. Putting a screw in the hole is challenging, for crying out loud. There we go. Now what about this guy? We'll leave him hanging for a moment. We can clip lead him on there. Why don't we do that? Good chance the common is just chassis ground anyway. The whole thing is loose. There we go. That's the speaker. See that little speaker back there? That's one I'm connecting. Two of those. Up. So look at this guy. He's got some capacitors. It all looks original. He's got 12AX7, that one, that one, that one. We got 5 12AX7s going here. Wow. And then the output tube is a 7189. I don't know what that is in more common parlance. We'll find out when we need to know. We don't need to know right at the moment. Power supply transformer, 2 output transformers. Look at those guys. Really meaty. I think we're ready to turn it on for the first run along here. Let's check the fuse. Fuse. Whoa, whoa, camera, where are you going? It's a slow blow. Certainly looks good. Let's test it though. Fuse good. Okay. No other particular observations to be made at this point. I'm willing to start something like this up because I have current limits limiting on my supply. So I'm not too scared. Too scared of unexpected results or blowing a house fuse or all that kind of stuff. Okay, so my power supply is off. The Unit power switch. Where is it? Okay, it's on the volume control. The unit switch is off. I'm just being safety minded at the moment. Okay, all looks good. We're all set. Current limiting 40 watt bulb, so it's on the high limit. Here we go. Okay. Today's voltage is 122 volts. And we're gonna switch on. Just a second. Momentary interruption there. The RMA box for my playbook showed up, and of course I'm not going to send it off now, I don't think, because it seems to be working. Okay, back to this guy. I think we're all set here. So let's watch the light bulb and the meter here, if we can see both. And we're going to power it on. Here we go. It looks very bright in the camera. It's not quite so bright. And there you see the voltage doing what I expected to do. Drop quick during the charging of the power supply caps. Rise up as the charge on the caps is satisfied. And then usually fall back again as the set draws more current through all the plate circuits in the tubes. Which, when you have current limiting on, can take quite a while. So we're feeding it about 75% line volts. There it goes. It's drawing more and more. So you can see the voltage falling. Now it's time for the oh so important will I get a shock from this thing or not test. The neon bulb did not light, but being the meter-oriented guy I am, let's throw the meter on the floor. No, wait a second here. The meters would be safer if they didn't have leads sticking out of them. Okay. Okay, so the voltage I'm reading is 31 volts. AC, cabinet to ground, a quick switch of the plug, and it's about the same, 34 volts. So, how to interpret that? I think that tells me that there's a couple of capacitors, and it has a power supply transformer. So I think there's a couple capacitors on the line, and their impedance is pretty high, so that's why I'm getting the partial reading on my voltmeter, whose impedance is also pretty high. So in other words, this guy is safe. Now, I don't hear any humming. I hear some humming out of the actual unit itself. I'm talking about on the speaker. It's mysteriously silent. Too silent for my liking. Speaker switch is on. We're set to the auxiliary input. Let's turn it up. There's not a sound coming from it. Now I can see the heater in this one, this tube. I can see the heaters. This one. harder to see in that. That one, it looks like... I don't see the heater in this one. Oh, I feel the heat though. Yeah. This feels ice cold. He's cold. They're all cold. These ones feel a little warmer. These guys, these three feel cold. We're running down now at 60% of line voltage. That's a pretty heavy draw. It's really quite a heavy draw, but it does have a fuse and it's fuse protected, so why don't we just give it the full force of the Hydro One electric system here in Ontario. So here we go. She's getting a full 222 volts now. Heaters have all brightened up. I can see the heater in this tube now. Yeah. Oh, I did that with the volume turned up full. That was probably not a smart move, but absolutely nothing coming out. I have no signal fed in, but you'd expect to hear something, anything. Okay, there's a headphone jack on the front. Let me get my headphones. My very much beloved headphones, K240s. These guys have got miles on them like you wouldn't believe. And they still keep on kicking. Okay, so whoop, volume's right down. Headphones are in, speakers switched off. And I'm listening now with headphones. Good show. I hear a faint hum. Only on the highest volume too. Let's try balance. Balance seems good. Treble's working based on the hiss. Bass is working based on the hum. Stereo mono switch appears to have an effect. Turn it down. Tuner input. Whoa! Phono input gives us a strong rushing sound, which we'll be listening to on the speakers. Tape head also gives a strong rushing sound. Let's switch back to... Wow. A lot of heat coming out of these tubes at the back here. They're really projecting the heat. It actually scared me at first. I thought this guy was cooking. Okay, volume down, speakers on. There's the rushing sound. Strong on one channel, not much on the other. Okay, we'll flip to mono. Okay, in mono mode, the volume level is identical. Whoops, stereo. One channel loud, the other one quiet. So there's something going on there. And the phono input, exactly the same. So phono and tape head, or when I said tape, I meant tape head. So phono and tape head inputs are going to be much more strongly amplified, since generally it's a much weaker signal coming in as opposed to auxiliary. Well, we got to make some sound go through this thing, and let me check something here. Okay, you just need a long phono wire. This guy will do it. Just got to plug this wire in over here. Okay. Turn that down. I think we're still listening to radio from Buffalo on AM there. Volume is down. We'll plug this into auxiliary. Oh, wow, that's a hot one. Really hot. Really hot. Okay. So we're in the auxiliary input. We'll select it on the front. And we'll see what we hear.
Potentially saving you thousands of dollars. At U.S. Tax Shield, our tax advisors will review your case for free, inform you of your rights, and give you a guaranteed quote. No games and no tricky upsells. That's why we have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of satisfied clients.
That's AM radio, so we'll give it something a little better than AM radio.
Call U.S. Tax Shield now at 800-203-50.
Okay, so what's wrong with this guy? I appear to have nothing to repair here. Well, let's try the tuner input. Just another auxiliary with the word tuner written on it. Just 1 second. I think it's outside. Hunt it down. Okay. Sorry about that. Now, I got this on tuner. There we go. Treble. Bass. Mono. Stereo. Hissy phono on one channel. Oh, where would I find my so seldom used input shorters? Looking at all my connector boxes here to I have some things that you, I don't know what to call them properly. You plug them into a phono input when you're not using it to sort it out. Tank got one. Not finding it. Yeah. I so seldom use them that I just have lost track of them. And I'm not going to go through all my parts boxes here. On account it will take forever. Okay, so I think that's the end of our checkout. So what do we find out? Oh, we found out the Fisher amp is working great. Except for that hiss on one channel of the phono and tape head inputs, which we will chase down a little later. For now, that's it on the Fisher control amplifier. Oh, there it is right there. X100A. Thanks for watching.